The Rockmaster is a legendary competition held in Arco since 1987. And now, the main wall of the competition is the headquarters of the Italian national team. The competition season started here, with 2 days of national team meeting training for bouldering, lead and speed. It's one of the first meetings with pandemic, so every athlete and trainer has to do a COVID test before entering in the gym.
Il test tampone fatto, adesso aspettiamo i risultati.
And once we receive the results, we can enter and start the national team training. First is the turn of the women, start with bouldering, and men and women with speed climbing. And after that, it's time for us to warm up. Today there is the national selection for the bouldering team. And even if my plans are not to compete in bouldering competition this year, I wanted to test myself to compete with other climbers to see how strong I am in bouldering. So there will be a simulation of a competition, and the first will be chosen to take part in the first bouldering World Cup of the year. Sto scaldando, ma oggi fa un po' freddo. Pensavo facesse un po' più caldo e il sole è andato via, temperature invernali, però ci si scalda. And as in every event, the competition starts behind the scene, during the warm-up. We warm up on the same boulder and we set everything together, and this is also a good test to see if I'm in a good shape or not. And after the warm-up, it's time to move on the main bouldering wall. Like almost every competition, we have 5 problems, and we have 5 minutes time to climb a boulder and 5 minutes of rest alternate. The first boulder was supposed to be a coordination boulder, but I decided to skip the coordination part and try to climb in my way, and this was the result. After many attempts, I understood that I have to go at the same time with my right hand and right foot toe hooking on the right volume, but then it was a bit too late and I finished my time going to the zone. Time to rest 5 minutes and get ready for the second boulder. The second one was more my style, and I made a comparison between me on the left and Mikhail Picoruas on the right. Check out the difference between his dynamic style and my more controlled style. After many years of lead climbing, I developed a more controlled and slow style, and maybe this is one of the reasons why I'm not very good at bouldering and I'm better at lead climbing, because I always find a rest while lead climbing, and doing the same stuff in bouldering is not very useful. In any case, this was a long boulder and kind of pumpy, like an endurance boulder, but my endurance was not enough to hold the next hold. And I was too tired to even notice that we were almost losing a member of the team on the first boulder. The third one totally fits my style, and I had no problem to climb this one. Five minutes of rest and we start again. My happiness after boulder number 3 just went away on boulder number 4 and again on boulder number 5. The slab, my worst enemy.
Ho fatto un po' fatica, soprattutto sugli ultimi blocchi che erano un po' meno strapiombanti. Di solito sulla roba strapiomante riesco, infatti il secondo e il terzo blocco ero abbastanza in forma, e poi quando c'è da un po' muoversi in placca o comunque fare dei salti faccio più fatica, quindi domani la lead spero andrà un po' meglio.
And this was the end of the first day. Are you always complaining about the complexity of their modern style routes? Are you, like me, not understanding anything about what you have to do to climb perfectly a route? So our latest technology has everything you need. We are proud to present to the world the beta glasses. Just wear them and you will see all the beta of the route you want to try. Beta glasses. Watch beyond. Available only in green. The second day of the meeting was for lead climbing. They prepare 4 routes, 2 on the left, a black and a yellow, and 2 on the right, a black and a red one. After the warm-up I decided to try the easiest one to finish my warm-up. It was the black one, and it was quite easy as I knew all the beta from a new technology, and so I was warm and ready to try something harder. The second route I tried was the red one on the right. It starts not very hard with some slab and roofs, and then it goes on the main slab of the wall. All the routes here on the right finish before the roof, because otherwise they will be too long for a competition style route, and so they have to be very hard in this slab section. I climbed efficiently until here, but then I did a mistake and I underestimated the next crimp. I thought it was a bit better, and so I jumped instead of heel hooking on the left, and I fell. The third route was the black one on the left, on the other wall. I prefer a bit this wall because it's more continuous, without many roofs and slabs, and it's a bit more overhanging at the end. Let's speed up the first part that was not very hard, just a bit bumpy, and let's see the main part of the route. At 3/4 of the route there was the cracks. There was a long move going to the right, it was more crimp. I had no problem with this one and continued until the top. And then was time for the monster. the hardest route set on this wall now, the yellow one on the left. I had a few troubles here in this move, because I lent my glasses to someone else, and then I passed this move with the right heel as Marcello. Now we can see a comparison between me and Marcello on the right, with a different style, and we can add another team member in the middle, that is Joe Placci, a young team member that came from a youth team from last year. And we can see now the difference of the styles. This was the main rest of the route, and the biggest difference here between me and the other two climbers is the rest position. I was comfortable not hooking on the left, or maybe I just didn't think about it, but the hole was good enough. Maybe the heel walk was a better choice, and yeah, they were good to find it. The position was comfortable, even for me that I didn't heel on the left, but maybe with the heel was better.
Ale. Dai, Ale. Sì, buono, Ale.
Then we did a totally different method from each other, going to the left pinch. I did a dynamic move, Joe heel on the left, and Marcello balanced himself on the right. And again here, different beta, a toe hook for Marcello, heel for Joe, and just stand and go straight for me. This was the second rest of the route, but it was easy to rest just if you were fresh enough to be able to rest. And this is a bit of the paradox of the resting climbing. Some rests are good just if you are fresh enough to be able to take advantage of the rest. And this is the last section of the route. Marcello decided to clip first and then go with the left and right hand, and I decided first to go on the right and then to clip. And probably the hardest move was to release the toe hook and hold the swing after meters and meters of climbing.
Alesti.
These 2 days of climbing were exhausting for everyone, and the worst thing I think was to deal with the skin. But at the end everything finished with a good ice cream in Arco, so everyone was happy.
È andata. È finita. Per oggi basta.
Have you ever thought your grip on the wall is not enough? We have a solution for you. Grip glove. Buy one and you get two. Great for opening the jam jar.